is my home-built 3000 watt electric motor kit that I can put on my paddleboard and take anywhere with. It looks discreet enough to look like a tackle box, yet it can easily take me up on plane. I can use it to assist my paddling and even carry more than one person. And in this video, I show you guys my design process, how I built it, and how it works. But this is by far the hardest project and video I've ever worked on. So what are we waiting for? Roll the intro. What are you doing?
Ice water turn Atlantic, night calling in a fan. We gon' keep panic, took an island, fled the mansion. Drop the roof, more expansion. Drive a coupe, you can stand. She love it, run the cover.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yes, we all meant for each other.
That was pretty sick. Alright, where were we? Alright, this video idea started 3 years ago where I got this stand-up paddleboard. And I was pretty hyped because I already loved paddleboarding a lot, but I finally get to have one of my own. So when I got it, me and my dad went out to go try it and realized how bad pumping it is manually. Now, fast forwarding to the present, paddleboarding is still really fun and I do it all the time, but it's really slow. But that got me thinking, there's gotta be a way to go faster, right? So I turned my focus towards the internet to see what was out there. I found this one guy that usually does e-bike reviews, review an electric paddleboard motor kit. And I was all hyped until I saw the price. So I checked Amazon and the prices were better, but still way out of my budget. And they were underpowered, which means back to YouTube to see what other people have done for solutions. And that's where I found the YouTubers Christian Push and RC Test Flight, who built their own electric paddleboards that work amazingly well. I noticed both YouTubers used parts you could easily buy online, so I went and did my own research and found these items. Now all we do is wait. I think my packages came. Let's go. Okay, the first thing on the list was a BLDC motor driver, which was rated for 48 volts and 500 watts. It had analog controls, which was a switch and a potentiometer. The next item was a fully waterproof brushless motor that was rated for 3000 watts. This motor is meant for e-foils and jet boards, but I'm repurposing it for this project. And as I waited for the battery to come in, I thought I should get started wiring. Okay, well, this is the diagram it came with. Hopefully the 36 volt won't like get it to smoke or something stupid happens. After getting the wires and parts I needed, I added a Dean style battery plug to the BLDC port. Then I went and stripped the motor wires to be able to solder on connections. I then placed a heat shrink all over the bad solder job, heated it up to make sure it was tight on there, and did it 3 more times. Now all I had to do was plug it back in and wait for my battery to arrive. Hey. Alright, so I got the battery, so it's time to hook it up to the BLDC motor driver and see if it would spin the motor. Let's turn this on. And let's see if you guys see that. Yo! I did you guys see that? Yo! Let's go! Let's go! Did you all see that? Bro, no shot, I just did that. I've been playing since day one. Led up to this. Needless to say, I was excited. But now that I got my motor spinning, what was I gonna do for the design? So unlike a boat, my board is inflatable, which means we can't have any permanent attachments to it. So our motor is gonna have to be removable. I considered the option of building an outboard motor until I realized it'd be too complex to build and too top heavy. And even if I lowered it, it was still going to be too bulky and not hydrodynamic. I needed a different, more simpler solution. That's when I thought I could use the already present fin mount on the paddleboard to mount my motor to. And I could just have the wires run up to a box that controls everything. That way I could still have room to paddle, or I could just drive it. Now I had a decent plan in my head, but I just was going to have to figure out how I was going to make it a reality. Testing to see if I can drill a hole into this fin. Since the fin was drillable, I got started measuring where my motor was going to be attached to it. I traced the diameter of the motor onto the fin, then grabbed my saw to start getting to work, cutting the piece I didn't need off. Progress update, bro. Cutting this is way too slow. I'm gonna see if I can like drill some holes and then cut for that to stick it on. So close, baby. Oh! I didn't mean to do that. Well, funny enough, it just broke off, but it did need some sanding, so that's what I got straight to next. Alright guys, I got this down pretty smooth, and it's time to figure out how we're gonna bolt this motor onto it. Well, it's time to go to the local hardware store where I found these 90-degree brackets I could use to hold the motor on, as well as some screws to clamp it onto the motor and to the fin. Now we just had to prop the motor up and see if the fin would fit in between the gaps, which as you can see it does. So all that was left was to drill a hole through the fin to be bolted to the motor and then tighten all the screws in it. We just got the motor bolted to the fin, so now it's time to start getting the electronics in the box. When my waterproof electrical box finally arrived, I opened it and then placed it on the paddleboard to see how it would fit. And I chose right between the grip tape and the air valve just in case I needed to get to it. Now I was on the final stretch and I had my battery and motor driver all in the box to see how it would fit. I went ahead and drilled holes for the motor phase wires and holes for the cooling tube. Like pulling a snake, bro. That shit sucks. Alright guys, everything's on the board, and let me show you real quick. Alright, now I was just clipping the fin on and putting the box at the end so I can test it. Plugging battery in. That looks good enough. Alright, bet. So now let's turn this on. How did I just build that? Freaking cool. Guys, are you seeing what I'm seeing? Well, the motor works perfectly, but time to see if it's waterproof. In the water. Wow, completely dry except for the holes I haven't yet put in. Wow, it was even waterproof, but time to see what my little brother says about it. Whoa, shoot. Try that sometime. Wait, what? After whatever that was, it was time for the last few steps, which was waterproofing it fully, attaching Velcro straps to the box and paddleboard, and finally installing the water cooling tube on the bottom fin. Alright guys, it's test day. Next time, we're going to do an even bigger test. I just want to see if this works without any issues. See you guys there. No diving. You guys try that. Show this. Let's go, baby. Alright. Dude, I feel like an NPC. Alright, so get this. Amazing. There. Okay, so it stretches around back, attaches to the Velcro straps up front. Now we gotta turn everything on real quick. Let's see if it spins. Oh, that is heavy. Please don't sink. It's time to turn this on. Yo, okay. That's actually really cool. I see you smiling, camera crew. It was working, and as you guys could see from my reaction, I was pretty excited and surprised. And I can't wait to see what else this thing can do. Yo, it's too fast. It's too fast. It's too... Yo, dog. This thing is too fast. Okay, I know it actually wasn't that fast, but it felt really fast in the moment and really cool. What the hell? Turn! You just... What the... Yo! That's full speed! That's full speed!
Damn!
Woo! Bye!
You did?
Uh-oh. Oh, I gotta figure out what happened. But it seemed like it was working just fine. Until it shut off for no reason. Oh, that's not good.
It's hot.
This is really hot. Yeah, we should probably unplug that. Hopefully I didn't burn anything. Huh. Uh-oh, it kind of smells bad. Now I'm kind of worried. Well, it turns out I actually did burn through the ESC, but that wasn't going to stop me, so I right away got a replacement, rewired it up, and put the new water cooling system into it, and I was back out to test it. I pumped up the paddleboard, and we have everything ready to go, and I left the ice pack in the box, keep the electronics cool before we go out, so hopefully we won't have an ESC bust this time. Idea, but it is what it is. Alright, so I don't know how fast that is, but you can see we're moving at a pretty good speed here. It's great. And that's all I'm running it for because I'm too scared the thing's going to overheat. So spoiler alert, it did blow up again, but at least I got this really cool underwater shot. But it was time for me to think of something new. The BLDC motor drivers weren't working, so I did some research and found these. This is an ESC, well, this is a VESC, which is programmable, and we can customize the settings to make the motor run however we want. But now you might be wondering, how is this different? A normal ESC, you was kind of relying on the controller to change what the motor does. While in the VESC, everything comes from what you programmed into it, which is why it comes with a little USB port to plug into your computer. And now that I had the VESC, it was time to take off the old connections from the BLDC motor driver and resolder them onto the VESC. Connections are finished. I also had a few extra parts to help me out, which was a skateboard remote, which I could program into making the motor run, and a Bluetooth module so I can connect it to my phone. This would allow it so I didn't even have to be on the paddleboard to drive it, which is great, just in case I fall off. I took my paddleboard out back and it instantly got to work trying to program it. And then I launched the VESC program, which is an open source tool for programming these kind of things. If you plan on getting a VESC or want to support the dude that made it, there's a link down below to check it out. I attached my motor phase wires, turned on the battery, and plugged it into my computer so I could get started programming. Okay guys, unfortunately I don't think the adapter worked for this. I just downloaded the app and it's connected to the thing because I got the Bluetooth module. Since the computer wasn't working, I got it connected to my iPad. It loaded me up into the menu screen where I then went to motor setups and selected the right size motor for me. I was then brought to this page, which was just extra information about the motor if you wanted to add it. I then started letting it detect my motor so it can run it properly. And I got these results when I was finished. Make sure they line up with your motor specs. You can check this by knowing your motor max current and motor sensor type. Next, I made sure my motor was running the right way. Then I checked to see if everything was okay. But one thing I forgot to mention was to make sure you have the correct firmware installed and make sure you have the proper specs for your battery, like the amount of cells, which I had 10 series cells and 10 amp hours on the 36 volt battery. The last couple things I messed with was the motor max current and battery cutoff voltage. I'm gonna speed through this next part, but it was basically just calibration of the remote. Alright, I just saved everything on the VESC tool, because this is really powerful now. Let's try backwards. Okay. This is forward. Obviously a lot of vibrations, but it won't be as bad in the water. It works again, and I reinstalled my cooling tube, so now it's time to go try version 2 out the water. What's up guys? We're here at the dock and we're about to try the electric paddleboard out for the first time ever. Oh no, it's too fast. Oh my gosh, it is so crazy. Oh, it's a little wavy out. I'm a little scared because if it sinks, then I can't get this back, and I already spent like $500 on it. So let's just get this rolling. Where are you? Want to make out?
Later.
Go out to the buoy. Alright, so I sent that thing right out to the buoy and it was working great. It wasn't overheating and it was going even faster than before. The turning ability still needs some work. Although now I could just stand on it without having to touch the box and I could lean it like a surfboard. Definitely took some getting used to though.
Is that electric?
Yes, sir.
That's cool. You build it yourself or?
Yeah, how good?
Hell yeah.
Right there. Yeah. Where? What, Mayor? You're your third.
like an electric scooter on the water, bro. It's great.
While I was filming with my boy Madden, I had the VESC app open running live data from the ESC, and it showed that it was getting way too hot. So it was another trip to the hardware store to get some metal cooling parts instead of just shoving a plastic tube in between and calling it good. But also shoving a metal part in between isn't smart either because it short-circuited my old VESC and I had to get a new one. My Bluetooth module wasn't working on the new VESC, so I had to switch around the transmitter wires to get a signal. I ended up doing the same soldering and programming as before, and we were ready to go again. Alright, here's what the box version 4 looks like. Alright guys, we have the... I also ended up upgrading to a 48-volt battery, but that was likely going to be temporary as it was going to go to a second project, which may or may not be related to what you guys are looking at right now. Anyway, it was time to go try it at the river again to make sure nothing weird happens or it magically blows up again. I also ended up adding cruise control, which was literally just a rubber band holding the throttle up just slightly. It's kind of finicky to set, but this is pretty much as fast as I cruise. Probably, I would say 5 miles an hour, maybe a little slower. But that's that way so it doesn't overheat. The turn, I usually just do this, and you can see we're slowly turning. Or I put the oar in the back, kind of like that, and we're already facing like towards the open front of the river. For testing until now, I've just been flooring the paddleboard and seeing how it handles at high speeds. But I haven't been doing much distance and endurance tests, so that's what I'm doing right here. I'm just letting the motor run at a pretty slow speed and occasionally steering and paddling it. Alright guys, I'm probably like a couple miles away from where I left, but I mean, check this out. Look how beautiful this is, bro. Just cruising on the paddleboard. We're going at a good pace, and since there's no sunlight, I can go a little bit faster without overheating, which is great. Who would have guessed? Cruising really slow dramatically improved the battery life. I even made it into the next town over just by going through the river. But I gotta say, the 48-volt battery was helping a lot. It was giving more power for higher top speeds, and it was able to go the distance. Alright, well, turns out the end of this doesn't have any water. So I reached a dead end, but I just ended up turning around. I'll say the journey was about a good 5 miles there and back. And I was pretty happy with those results because that's the farthest I've gone on a paddleboard ever in one trip. But unfortunately, I lost my phone on the first trip I did with another person on board. Alright, me and my boy Madden are filming on my paddleboard when I see a rock coming up. And I quickly tell him to grab the oar since I was still filming. But this dude hits me in the face with the oar, and it makes me drop the phone in the water. And by the time I looked, it was already sinking. Me and him were like, oh shoot, did that really just happen? We tried to dive down to get it, but it was way too deep. So I just had to get a new phone. Well, it doesn't even matter because I'm back anyway. And this time, I was going to see how far I could take the paddleboard down the river and back. And I was using a GPS tracking app that was technically meant for bicycles, but I still think it would work the same. All I really cared about was distance, so I got straight to it. We're cruising pretty slow. It looks like we're at 66%. Our VESC is 50, and we're pulling about, I can see it, 80 watts on average, it looks like, and about 15 amps of current. I'd say we're doing pretty good for cruising. Hopefully we don't hit the bottom. There's hella boats out today. Looking down at the propeller, we can see there's like no flow separation and no cavitation, so it's just running smoothly, which is great. It's a beautiful day on the Willamette. We've gone about a mile down the river so far, and it's been working perfectly. The ESC hasn't overheated, and the battery percentage hasn't dropped very much. Ooh, waves, let me hit them. Woo! Oh, hell yeah, dude. Still packed over there. There's a couple people. Oh, they just fell. Oh, that sucks. Check that out. Old logging thing. Epic. Okay, there's hella people. We just made it to George Rogers. 60% battery, but with voltage drop, I put it more like at 55. So it's still above half, which is good. Alright guys, we just made it to this warning rock thing. Paddleboard's just chilling. Whoa, dude! Woo! Oh, that's sick. Alright guys, we're just cruising back. There's whatever down there. We made it to the bridge. I don't know if you can see it. That bridge in the very corner up there. We are a little low on battery. 31%. I was going a little ham. You see, oh yeah, cool that down, it's so hot. And we're pulling about 20 watts on average. And looks like 9 amps, 5, 6 amps. So if we don't take a lot of wattage, we should be good. We should make it back. Sorry. Ooh, George Rogers still looking packed. So fun. This is so sick. Nothing beats the first feeling of having it like turn electric. It's so crazy, dude. Damn it. My battery percentage was getting extremely low, so I had to ease the throttle the whole way home and try not to pull over 100 watts, where it becomes really inefficient and my voltage drops to 0. Like Jackson. Thank goodness this thing has reverse, dude. I'm so glad I added that. Look how sad the box looks. Okay, we were on that home stretch, about a mile left. Hey, what you know about slow and steady wins the race type shit. I decided to help paddle a little bit. I don't think that's cheating, you know. It is a paddle board after all. But I only probably extended our range just like a little bit. I once again remind you guys how sick this thing is, too. Oh, this thing's so sick. Oh, look at that epic sunset. All right, my trip was done. And as you can see, I had a ride time of 3 hours and 26 minutes, a total distance of 8.6 miles, average speed of 2.5 miles per hour, and the fastest speed at 14.7 miles per hour, just under 15. Not bad for my first ever electric vehicle build. And it's also not too bad for an electric vehicle on water that carries a person. Here's a map showing a view of the whole ride. You can see where I popped in at George Rogers and where I went and turned around after the bridge. Not gonna lie, I was pretty happy with those results, but I know I could have gone farther. That ride, I did have the motor at full speed a couple of times, and I didn't record live data from the VESC, but I'm pretty sure the efficiency curve would look something like this. Higher speeds would really drain the battery on this thing, but I did have an idea to improve efficiency just a little bit. And that idea was to make hydrodynamic nose cones out of foam because I don't have a 3D printer. Guys, we got this new nose cone. Looking great. Oh, shoot. I wrapped it and attached it to the motor, and I think it looks pretty cool. And I wanted to give having 2 people on it another shot, so I grabbed my boy Jay, and we were up to film again.
We just made it to the lagoon, and we got the electric paddleboard box here.
Oh.
I got it. Hey, does that motor turn?
No, it's just like, you know where this is supposed to go?
Yeah.
I just put a motor on.
Does it go pretty good?
Pretty good. I'll say it's pretty solid.
Yeah, I put that over there.
Oh, is this yours? This is sick.
Yeah.
I'm running 36 and 48. Yeah.
How long do you get with that?
Depends how fast I go. If I'm going full speed, 1 hour.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
Good talking to you, man.
Yeah. Uh-oh, Jay. Uh-oh.
Shut up.
We're going.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Alright, how chill is this?
Whoa, no.
Check this out. Cruising, I don't have to touch it. For out, you know.
Well, let's turn this. Hey. Yeah, I think there's a couple of fine shits, guys. Look behind you. Bro, I need it.
We need it back. Is this going?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Thank you.
What the hell?
That's so sick, bro.
Bye, Jay.
Bye, Jay.
Bye.
Bro.
Hey, this is what I have to deal with. Sleeping Beauty over here.
Oh, we're about to crash. Hold on. Turn. Yo, dude. Check this. I'm about to go drive this, and you're gonna get a POV of me driving. All right, guys. Driving this backwards right now. Oh!
Look at the bird over there.
What's up, bro? You see that one kid doing a skimboard? I'm asking if I can try that real quick. I'm not stealing it. Don't worry, bro. Okay.
Nah, he's stealing it.
Shut your bitch. You gonna make it out to the log?
Yeah.
Alright. Alright, here you go, bro.
Thank you.
Hey.
Catch that. Content right there.
Type shit. I know there was a lot of tomfoolery going on there, but it does work and it can carry both of us, which is awesome. At the end of this trip, the ESC ended up getting wet and turning off and leaving us stranded. So I just dropped the bucket on a new waterproof ESC and I just ran through the whole process of soldering and programming it again. But now this is the final version. I even added a few new extra things like a water pump and a new nose cone. And honestly, now is a bit overkill, but it works amazingly well. It sounds like Iron Man trying to start up. Sounds like Iron Man. Right now, we got it set up and we're out on the river. Time to test this out.
Okay, it's plugged in. Yo, that's so sick. Oh yeah, it feels hotter, a little bit warmer than the water around it, which means it is cooling. Let's see if it'll move forward. Yo. Oh, this thing is fast. What the? We're pulling like 2,000 watts. Yo, this is cool. And the temperature, it didn't even crack 30, bro. You got to be kidding me. Oh, this is awesome.
And this version that I have right here has been working ever since. I even got to take it down to Southern Oregon and use it on some pretty lakes. So now it's montage time.
Oh, that's so cool, bro. You gotta get this on, baby. Look at that.
Wow, that was cool. But we've reached the end of the video. Thank you to everyone who is supporting me throughout the making of this video. It took me all summer, but I did lock in and I did get it out. And like I said in the intro, this is by far the hardest video I've ever worked on this channel. Actually, on YouTube, period, bro. There's so much that went into it, and I had to leave a lot of details out. Please let me know if you'd like a part 2 of this where I go into more detail, or whatever else you would like to see on this channel. I do plan on making a version 2 with a bigger battery motor on a hard paddleboard, but that'll be something for maybe next year.
Alright guys, thanks for watching. As you can see, I picked up the huzz off the paddleboard for sure. And
Alright, bro, enough of yapping. Outro time.
Like the ocean needs the moon to take the tides away. All we need's a little time.